Next on News Worth Knowing, South Africa's Justice Minister is alleged to have taken a bribe from the VBS bank looting scandal. I'm going to say that again. The Minister of Justice is alleged to have taken money from the looting of impoverished South African savings. I'm going to say that again. The Minister of Doing the Right Thing, Upholding the Law Department is alleged to have stolen money from poor people. And I know we are used to powerful government officials facing corruption allegations, but the Minister of Justice, guys, it's like putting Rassie in charge of the All Blacks. He's playing for the other side. Thembi Simelane was already a controversial choice to be made Justice Minister because this is true. She has no legal background. We haven't had a Justice Minister in this country with no legal background in more than 100 years, but the ANC said, nah, it's fine. It'll work. Put her in. And now she's being called to explain what happened when she was mayor of Polokwane. Just a few months into her Justice Minister job. She's just arrived.
Is the president coming? I just arrived. When last did you speak to him? I just arrived. When last did you speak to him? I just arrived. Is the president coming? I just arrived. I don't know who's inside.
You know, he's probably going to jail for corruption, but Zizi Kodwa, you have my heart, bro. According to media investigations, when Thembi Simelane was mayor of Polokwane, she received I'm getting dribbled by the numbers. Listen properly. 575,600 Rand from Gundor Wealth Solutions, which was owned by a man called Ralium Razwinane. And Simelane says that the money was a loan to buy a coffee shop in Sandton, and she says she paid the loan back, although she has no evidence to show that she did pay it back. You know the way that R500,000 Rand transactions have no paper trail? Around the same time Simelane got her R500,000, her municipality invested 349 million Rand into VBS Bank, which is just fascinating timing. That 349 million could have been used to help the people of Polokwane, but instead it went into VBS, got looted, and the bank collapsed. Ralian Razwinane is now on trial for fraud, corruption, and money laundering for what he did in the looting. His job in the looting of VBS Bank was to connect municipalities with VBS to set up investment deals for the bank. And one of the municipalities he did this with was, you guessed it, Polokwane Municipality, while Simelane was mayor. And at the same time, she got R500,000 Rand for a now failed coffee shop. No, that's not even mean. There was no one there. It closed. And now Simelane is Minister of Justice, which gives her enormous influence over our justice system. She has the power to appoint acting judges. She can change the National Prosecuting Authority's budget. She can sway the priorities of the department. And she's implicated. It's like putting a vegan in charge of a butchery. It doesn't make sense. The boss is literally fighting for the other side. It's so bad. And now it's created this strange, never-before-seen dynamic in South African politics, because in the old days, if this happened, the ANC would batten down the hatches. They would accuse anyone of criticizing their minister of being counter-revolutionary or white monopoly capital or racist. And then the DA would attack Simelane and the ANC from every Twitter page, newspaper, public speech, street corner, and rooftop. The EFF, well, they would do one of those two things. They're less predictable. They'd sometimes defend ANC style or attack DA style. Now, though, in GNU land, it's very different. The ANC is doing cautious damage limitation. They don't want to be seen as defending corrupt officials, since they suffered that historic loss on exactly this kind of issue in May. But they also don't want to make a big deal of asking Simelane to account for what she did, because that would only humiliate the ANC. She's an ANC minister. And the DA has to be weirdly cautious too, weird for them, because the ANC is a GNU coalition partner, and the GNU has worked out pretty well for the DA so far. A couple of their ministers have been seen as early success stories of this government, like Schreiber and McPherson. So the DA doesn't want the coalition dynamic to change. It's working for them. But for years, their whole shtick has been slam the ANC for corruption. So they have been doing just a little slamming this time. Not a full-on Beck clap, more of like some heavy petting. A few DA people like Glenys Breitenbach have done some heavy petting about Simelane in the media, but overall, the cavalry hasn't arrived. The DA is trying to be gentle about this, to not humiliate the ANC and damage the alliance. So the government is cautiously protecting its interests, but at least the opposition will go for Simelane tooth and nail, right? That's their whole job in a democracy as opposition. They are going to go on the attack, right? Wrong. Because the only two major opposition parties, the EFF and MK, both have major leaders who are implicated in serious VBS bank looting themselves. This is really an anyone is welcome party with no age restriction. Julius Malema of the FF and Floyd Shivambu, now of MK, both stand accused of knowingly organizing over 16 million rand in bribes for themselves from the VBS looting. So they can't go in hammer and tongs either, because then they would be called out for hypocrisy. This situation is literally that Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other. So nobody is hitting the Simelane scandal hard, and it's honestly just been one massive pillow fight. And it's so weird to witness after decades of us watching our politicians literally smash each other. No. That was poor word choice, Dan. Do not clip that and take that out of context.